I'll say this, like definitely looking at what bobsledders were before I was in the sport, I definitely did not have the mindset of, yeah, I got this. It was more like, whoa, these guys are like gods, man. They're
Yeah.
huge, they're fast, like they're pushing the sled. They just look like, I don't know, superheroes. I don't
Sure.
know. It's
Sure.
just
Yep.
I always thought they were super cool and just like everybody else. Story of bobsled. Let's see. So it started, I think, more in like the 2010 Olympics. The
Yeah.
Team USA bobsled team was renownedly the best in the world. That happened to be the year that Stephen Holcomb, who was a driver of bobsleds, he won the gold medal. And I think, when you see your country win a gold, it kind of sparks curiosity. So that was actually right there before our freshman year of college. And that was really cool, man. I was just like, oh, everybody knows bobsled from the movie Cool Runnings, the Disney movie.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to me, I was just like, that's when I would say the first true curiosity like sparked was like, oh, these guys look like monsters and they're so cool. It just, I don't know, they just like a really cool sport. The same way like kids look up to like football players. I was just like, oh, bobsledders seem cool.
Yeah.
So throughout college, I would just kind of like keep up. I just kind of became a fan
Yeah.
of it, and would keep up. They did well. They did really well in the 2014 Sochi Olympics,
Hmm.
um, and I just kind of kept up with it. And it was funny because my last year of school was I graduated in 2015. Is when I truthfully was just like starting to you know, think past college in terms of like, I think I want to find a new activity. Like, what could that activity be? I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. And I was like bobsled. And that's when it kind of came to my mind. I never once kind of questioned, like, how does someone become a bobsledder? I just kind of always thought it was like probably one of those things you just feed through as a kid.
Yeah.
But I just pretty simple, man, no crazy story. I just kind of Googled just like, how does someone become a bobsledder? And there's not too much information out there. You
Hmm.
really kind of had to dig at the time. But they had these combines that it was just a series of events that the coaches would run you through and the staff would run you through to see what numbers you put up, to see how you did. And I was like, oh, this looks like anybody can show up. It's not like the NFL combine, right? You got to
Yeah.
get an invite. But
Yeah.
that was at the time, that was the process. And I was like, oh, this seems like it would be a cool thing to train for. To be honest, I didn't really train for it. It was just it was just something like fun. I was just like, well, just show up.
Hmm.
I'm kind of athletic, but I got humbled very fast at my first
Yeah.
combine. I actually went to it while I was there, still living in Eugene.
Hmm.
It was great. So it was something, I went to this combine, failed miserably, and was just like, okay, that was cool. That was a fun experience. That was so fun to try out. And then like to me, I was like, as the next year came along, oh, to be honest, at the first combine, I pulled my hamstring and I got humbled very fast. I was just
Oh.
like, okay, can't just jump into this and do this, no training.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to be honest, I was like, to me, it was just fun, something fun to train for. It
Sure.
was honestly, I was entering into the real world. I was under the impression like, oh, I guess, I got to get to work, start creating that life for myself, get a job, do all that kind of stuff. And these bobsled combines were just something fun to train for.
Hmm.
And I actually took multiple more combines. I went in
Hmm.
like 2015. I went again in 2016. I went again in 2017, and
Hmm.
each time got a little better, a little
Hmm.
better. And I learned something new. And even if I didn't get better, I was like, okay, like I never was really taking it seriously, just kind of doing it offhandedly, just running.
Yeah.
But then come 2018, man, my fourth time around, where I was like, what am I doing going to these things every year?
Yeah.
Um, I decided, like, you know what? Let me actually train for a year
Yeah.
and stick to a routine like I know how. And let me
I mean,
see
that
what
was my
comes of it.
fault. I was going to ask you that, but you seem to just
Mhm.
you beat me to the punch. So please
I got
continue.
it, Keoni. I
Yeah.
got you, man. It just before that 2018 combine, I just was like, you know what? Let me just actually prepare for this, not
Hmm.
treat it so casually. Because at the time I was just working full time. That's all I
Yeah.
was doing. I wasn't really
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
work out here and there. I was always kind of, I would say, naturally athletic. That was built as a kid, but like I never really trained for it. So I just devoted myself. I trained up for a couple months, and I went to the 2018 combine, probably feeling a little more prepared than normal. You mentioned Cameron earlier, Cameron
Hmm.
Matsumura.
Hmm.
Cameron was actually, he went to that very first combine with me, and he actually was planning on going to that 2018 combine. I want to
Oh.
say he did go to it. Yeah, he trained for it as well.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, for the sport of skeleton. It's a different
Ah, okay.
sport, but yeah, he trained for those well. So it was fun to have again that kind of like camaraderie built with a friend of training for something. And to be honest, man, I was just training for this combine. I just wanted to see myself get better. It's fun to see progress through something on your own journey. Whatever someone's journey is, it's fun to devote yourself to a task and see yourself get better. I've always loved that feeling.
Yeah.
Um, kind of like